Hey, welcome back to the GraceVinePodcast. I'm Jack, and I'm glad you're here. I want to start today with something small that I think most of us live inside of without even naming it. Here it is. The world runs on a hidden rule. The rule says you don't have value by default. You have to go get it, prove it, earn it, defend it. And if you stop fighting for it, even for a minute, you lose ground. Somebody else takes the spot. The world doesn't hand you worth. It makes you compete for it. And most of us have been playing that game so long, we don't even notice the board anymore. Today I want to look at Romans 12:2 and specifically what happens when Grace walks into that game and says, you're not playing by those rules anymore. Not because you won, because the whole scoreboard was wrong from the start. Let's get into it. Number one, naming the pattern Paul writes in Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Most of the time when we hear that verse, we think about behavior. Don't do what the world does. And that's true, but look closer at the verb. It's not stop doing it, it's be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The change Paul is after starts underneath behavior. It starts in what you think is true. So here's the question worth sitting with. What's one pattern of this world that you've absorbed so completely you don't even recognize it as a pattern anymore? For a lot of us, it's this one. Value has to be earned, and it has to be defended or it evaporates. Number two, the world's version of value. Think about how this actually plays out day to day. Performance reviews, follower counts, whether the kids turned out a certain way, whether the business hit the number, whether somebody noticed the work you did. None of that is evil on its own, but underneath it, there's often a quieter belief running the show. If I would stop proving myself, I stop mattering. That's exhausting. And it's also, according to Paul, exactly the kind of thinking we're told not to conform to. Number three, Grace's version of value. Here's the difference Grace makes, and it's not a small one. Grace doesn't say work hard and you'll eventually earn enough value to relax. Grace says you have eternal value as your starting point, before performance, before the win, before anyone claps. That's not a participation trophy, that's a completely different foundation. In Ephesians 1, Paul says we were chosen before the foundation of the world, adopted as sons and daughters, sealed with the Spirit. None of that is describing something we built, it's describing something we were given. Number four, why the starting point changes everything. This is the part I really want to land, because it's easy to hear grace gives you value and file it as a nice feeling and move on, but it actually changes the mechanics of how you live. Two people can do the exact same thing, show up to work, raise a kid, write a song, host a podcast, and it mean two different things by it, depending on what they think their value is built on. If value is something you're fighting for, every task becomes a referendum on whether you matter. Every setback threatens you at the root. But if value is already settled, if the starting point, not the finish line, then the same task becomes something else entirely. It becomes an expression of who you already are, not an audition for who you might become. That's the renewing of your mind Paul's talking about. The behavior might look similar from the outside. The basis underneath it is completely different. Number five, this doesn't mean quick clarification, because grace-based value doesn't mean coasting or not caring how things turn out. It means you stop needing the outcome to tell you who you are. You can still work hard, still care about excellence, still want to do well, but you're doing it from security, not scarcity. So here's what I want to leave you with this week. Somewhere today, you're going to feel the pull to prove yourself. Maybe it's a conversation, a deadline, a comparison that creeps in while you're scrolling. In that moment, ask yourself one question. Am I trying to earn something I was already given? Grace already settled the value question, not because of what you'll do today, because of what was already true before you did anything at all. If this episode landed with you, share it with someone who's tired of fighting for the worth they already have. Share it, and I'll see you next week, right here on the Grace Vine Podcast, where we're learning what it's like to live attached to the vine.